Parkinson's Walks vlog. I thought we'd, Blackbird's upset because he wants to get to his food and I'm out here, so he doesn't feel he ought to. So he wants me to go indoors. You've got no chance because we're in the glorious outdoors. There's rain forecast for this afternoon. Oh, well. That's life, I guess. I thought I'd better explain the format because there's new people joining the channel all the time. And they must find a nice thumbnail picture, click on that, and then find some old geezer sat there blabbering away. So I'll explain that on vlog days we first go through some of the comments that you've been making, see what news is round about with everybody, and then we run the film, which is probably about 10-15 minutes in. I can't tell you how long because I'm actually filming it live now, so a bit difficult, but 10 or 15 minutes in. So if you don't want the blabbering bit, go straight to the film 10 minutes down the line. I have to say I think this part is probably the best, to be honest, but anyway, I hope I find you all in good health because we've had a few misfiring just lately, I have to say. And Michael from Poland, who says, very good morning Ron, I'm home at last after 7.5 weeks in hospital. Blimey, Michael, that sounds grim. Thank you to everyone who sent me good wishes. It meant a lot to me and really helped me through some most difficult times. Lovely to hear from so many contributors to the channel. Yeah, if you're new, you'll find this is kind of a family channel, really. And we all group together as a family. We all share the same woes, the ups and downs, no matter which part of the planet we're on. West Country Wanderings then, our Paul who puts out a great number of pictures, films, channels, films, on all manner of things in the West Country. Brilliant, brilliant. And Paul says, great to hear that Michael's now out of hospital. Awful to hear that Lionel has had a mini stroke. Yeah, come on guys, we're falling apart here, aren't we? Poor Lionel's had a mini stroke. And Paul says, I hope you have a speedy recovery, Lionel. And I think, yeah, we all do. Now Paul's coming out. Yes, I have a new canal update on the Stroudwater and Thames and Severn coming soon. Been busy with other projects too. Yeah, Paul is following this attempt to join the River Severn to the Thames once again, Thames Severn link. See what's going on. They're going to make it one day. You know, when you think of the concept and you look at what they've got to face crossing motorways and goodness knows what, and you think that'll never work. But then when you go and actually see the work they've done, I wouldn't be surprised if it does, you know. Sumac MacArthur, who's the channel mascot, our official virtual mascot. She lives in Canada with James Weeks, and she comes and makes remarks now and again, like this one. It says, James is making exams and figuring out marks, but he says hello and enjoyed seeing you this week. Thank you, James. Good on you. Thanks, Sumac. Pete Payne. Excuse me. Pete is referring back to the last vlog where we had some lovely views around Padstow at eventide. And Pete says, lovely sights and sounds of Cornwall. Hopefully I'm heading down in early August back to my old stomping ground. Pete's got a new canine companion. I'll get it together in a minute. This Pete says, Sid is growing like a weed. Excuse me, got a frog in my throat. Sid is growing like a weed and causing mayhem. I've had to fence off all my flower beds, but he still managed to prune one of my rose bushes. Go on Sid, keep going. David from Spain. He said it's good news to hear that Michael's out of hospital. Best wishes to Lionel for a good recovery. Echoed by us all. Oh, the old Blackbird's gone for all singing a whistle now. David says that was a great photo that Nigel posted of the loading bay at Pilning. Yeah, the last film that we did was on Pilning, which was a major hub in the days when there was a ferry across the River Severn. And Nigel managed to find a photograph of Pilning with actually the loading dock in use where they were loading or unloading vehicles from the the goods wagons, what do you call them? The low load, not low loaders, are they? Whatever they were, you guys know. You guys know. And then he goes on to say, the dredgers at Padstow, which was on the blog. I remember getting all nostalgic last time you had them on. I think because it reminded me of the dredgers that would sail up Langstone Harbour. There were 2 quays, one on the island near where we used to play football, and the other at the northern end where we used to go cockling. Happy days, David, happy days. Malcolm Richardson, again referring to the Padstow film. What a delight it is to walk in the hour or so between dusk and nightfall. Yeah, it's got a feeling all of its own, isn't it? Brilliant. He said, I imagine in a place like Padstow, especially I imagine in a place like Padstow. Yeah, it's very good. Pardon me, grumpy old man then. This is our Jim from Tennessee. A very calming and beautiful video of the sights of Cornwall. Obviously you were out past dark. I do hope that Pauline didn't clonk you with the frying pan when you got in late. No, she just locks the door. Now, a few weeks ago we had a visit to a bus museum. And Lionel comes on from Lionel and Mary Travels, so he's still keeping with us. Going back to the buses, I can remember the slatted wooden seats. A company based in Fareham near Portsmouth used them on their buses in the 40s and 50s. If I recall, they were fairly comfortable to ride on too. I bet they were profiled properly. Nowadays, if you had to do it that way, you'd get a plank. That would be your lot. Abandoned Railways Adventure, this is our Ron. He said, where are all the usual suspects? Ron was one of the first on that day. Everybody else, I think, was taking a lie in. They came on in the end. Where are all the usual suspects, he said. I remember going to Bybury Primary School. He's getting his revenge now, isn't he, that Blackbird? He sat on the neighbour's aerial. Nobody asked you. Just shut up now. Horrible Blackbird. I remember going to Bybury Primary School on an old Bedford 29-seater, courtesy of Harvest coaches from Chedworth, who we were saying those old Bedfords got absolutely everywhere. Engage on a shelf, Simon. I thought you were at Padstow. Then I saw a sign near the beginning that read A Stow Harbour, and I've searched on Google Maps and cannot find it. Is it in Sweden? Thank you, Simon. Film. The last film we showed was on Westerleigh. He's getting a pest, isn't he? The last film we shot was on Westerleigh, which was part of the Gloucester to Bristol Railway once upon a time, and now become a branch line going to a gas storage facility. Abandoned Railways Adventures, our Ron then. Enjoyable trek, Ron. And what a splendid bridge. Yeah, there was a point where the line joined 2 to 1 over a road. Amazing. What I thought was a little bit odd there was if they'd moved that junction point 100 yards that way, they could have got away with one bridge over the road, or if they'd moved the road 100 yards that way, same thing applies. Why they went to build, I mean, it's a magnificent structure and thank you very much for doing it for us, but an awful lot of work they caused themselves there. Anyway, you see, that was an enjoyable trek, Ron, and what a splendid bridge. I've done a couple of hikes on busy no-verge roads and it's not an enjoyable experience, no, I have to say. You've got to watch yourself there and best avoid it if you can. Trev Joys, Trevor. He says, it's an area that I know extremely well as I lived not too far away in Winterbourne for many years. In fact, my daughter went to school just up the road from where you started your walk on the old abandoned roadway. This was originally for a housing estate to be built on Westerleigh Common. Oh, housing estates, scourge of the land, aren't they? Thank goodness someone saw sense and scrapped the crazy idea. As you made your way around the area, I was almost screaming at the telly saying, yes, yes, go down there, or no, don't go that way. Especially after you turned left off the Westerleigh Road and started to head towards Chipping Sodbury, or Sodding Chipbury as we locals call it. Trev then goes into the history of this branch line and the rails roundabout. Amazing. It's so complex and complicated and complex. Yeah, I got there in the end, Trev. Just a matter of timing. So amazingly difficult then to sort of put it all together, but Trev does a marvellous job of it in his usual way with his usual aplomb. Brilliant. Thanks for that, Trev. Fully recommend you read that. Pass sail by. Oh, I like this comment. A little bit of Friday sanity in a world gone mad. Sanity? Brilliant. Thank you for the comment. Thank you. Marilyn Barderstone, who's joining us on a regular basis now. Marilyn, lovely to hear from you. She says, another intrepid explorer to follow. I don't know if you know about real-time trains, but if you check when the oil train is going through Yate. Ah, I see. So real-time trains, you go on there and it'll give you not just the passenger services, but the other stuff as well. That's a useful site. Thank you for that, Marilyn. She says, the 38 wagons quite often stopped by our house in Gloucester and spooked the cat every day. The cat wasn't too keen then. Oh, dear. She says they were very stupid to take out the triangle just past Yate, as trains could be diverted from Gloucester to Swindon if there was a problem on the Stroud line. Yeah, we've said very often before on this channel, haven't we? They seem to make some rather odd decisions. Malcolm Richardson says, I've noticed this branch when travelling on the main line, where it passes over the single track going towards Westerleigh, with its prominent church spire. At one time it must have considerably shortened the journey between Bristol and Gloucester and beyond, so you wonder why it was closed. Marilyn's point, isn't it? They do some strange things. David again from Spain. Morning, Ron. What a tunnel that leaves at the start of your trek today. I was expecting you to bump into Ron from abandoned railways. He said, I'm glad you found your way out in the end. Ron from abandoned railways is amazing. If you go on his channel and look at his films, I show him a trackbed and he's gone. He'd have been miles ahead of me, David. He'd have been up the road, I imagine. There's no broad gauge fence posts again, but those last two bridges certainly made up for it. Yeah, didn't they just? Rodney. Our Rodney Masters. The road to nowhere was completed in the 1970s because money was completed. Not completed. Sorry about this, Rodney. Shall I start again? The road to nowhere was not completed in the 1970s because money was not forthcoming to build a bridge over the Gloucester to Bristol main line. Ah, I see. It has freshly painted white lines because it was used for accident scenes in the BBC TV casualty programme. Ah. The abandoned part of the railway was the junction from east to north, which was used to divert trains over the Severn Rail Bridge when the Severn Tunnel was closed. It was dismantled when the bridge closed. Of course, the bridge got knocked over, didn't it? Right. Nearly there, all you guys waiting for the film. The Hairy Golfer. Oh, here we go. Here we go again. Simon. Morning, Ron. I really thought we were going to have to send out a search party for you this time. Yeah, it was a bit like that in places, wasn't it, that one? But anyway, we got through. I do believe the machine at the end is for vibrating ballast around the sleepers. I've seen a model one. Oh no. Simon has a habit, he has engaged on a shelf, so he's building this lovely layout. He has a habit of buying stuff when his wife's not looking, but if she finds out, he blames me. So I get it in the neck and he gets off scot-free. It's not fair, Simon. Pete Payne. That was certainly an expedition. It's just nice to be out and about though, and the bridges were worth all the effort, yeah. Jim. Finish off for this week. Jim Nichols from New Zealand. Jim, as you know, has a kite flying channel. Just click on Jim Nichols and away you'll go, where he gets some amazing things up into the air. But I just wondered how he's doing down there, because of course it's there midwinter, isn't it, at the moment. So I asked him how he was doing. He said it's not as good as in years gone by, but I still get some flying done whenever I can, although the energy level has diminished somewhat in recent times. I'm afraid we're all heading in that direction, Jim, but hang in there, buddy. We'd love to see your kites. Right, film club then. We're about to run film club in a few seconds time. You got there in the end. Well done you, well done for hanging in there. This time, because we're having something of a mini heat wave, hence sat out here in the glorious open air, because we're having something of a mini heat wave, I thought we needed cooling down. So I've dug out the old frost film from in the winter sometime, and we'll give that a go. Now, if you're in the southern hemisphere with a blanket wrapped around you, your woolly hat on and you're cuddled up by the fire, I can only apologise, because this isn't going to make you feel any better, I have to say. Anyway, we'll run that in a minute. And then next week's film, you're going to like this one, I'm pretty sure. This is from Tidenham Tunnel, which is just over 1 kilometre long. It's on the line, the old line between Tintern and Chepstow on the Wye Valley Railway, and it's open to the public, and it is absolutely amazing. Because of all the bats in there, and they ask you to use their lights, not your lights, because of all the bats in there, bat homes, the lighting is very subdued, and I bet that's Trevor. There was an helicopter, and we got to within a few seconds of the end of the video without any disturbance. Well, I'm glad, and Trevor will let you off with that one. We know you don't do helicopters, or inverted fly modes as you call them. Anyway, so in the tunnel, the lighting then is very subdued and very down. Consequently, it's quite dark and spooky in there, and it's very, very quiet. All you hear is your footsteps. Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. It's quite quiet apart from where there's a leak, just where the air shaft comes down. But yeah, I thoroughly recommend it to you. And the whole area, it hasn't been that well cleared as they usually are. Usually they leave nothing behind, don't they, when they scratch up a railway. This they've left bits and pieces all over the place, which is quite interesting. Quite interesting. A few questions in there to be answered to all you railway enthusiasts. So I'll see you down at Tidenham Tunnel then next Friday. Don't be late.